Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
Here to speak about his newest novel, Fantasy League, please welcome back Mike Lupica.
My first novel for young readers was Travel Team, and it happened quite accidentally 10 years ago. My middle son got cut from a travel basketball team for being too small. I was talking to Jeff Van Gundy a few days later. He said, you know, if this were the movies, you'd take all the kids who got cut, you'd start a team of your own, and you'd play the other team in town in the big game. I said, well, I don't have anything against the other team in town. But I tell kids all the time, the problem with a good idea is that once a good idea gets inside your head, it's almost impossible to get it out. About 4 days later, I took all the kids who got cut, I hired a coach, I scheduled games, and I had a season with this team that started out like the Bad News Bears and then got good. It ended up selling 500,000 books and changed my life. But when it started to take off, my wife Taylor said to me one night, you writing from inside the mind of a 12-year-old is pretty much a perfect fit, as far as I can tell. So she says, it's nice that your immaturity can now help the family.
So Charlie studies pro football games like he's studying crime scenes in one of those CSI movies. And he has opinions about everybody, but they're grounded in fact.
Let me tell you what the rock-solid foundation of this book is. Kids know more about sports than we do. They're more in tune, they're more in touch, they're more passionate about it. And I'm thinking, okay, now what if a 12-year-old was so much smarter than everybody else that he could actually influence the season of a team like the LA Bulldogs, which is my fictional team. This is the first day of this book. I'm about to go all across the country talking about it. And, you know, I tell kids the same thing. Every book is different. Every set of characters is a new adventure for me. Before I start to get ready for the radio show or think about my column, if I can put a couple of hours in writing on a book, and by the way, it's not work. I love writing these books. I love telling my stories. I love getting inside the minds of these 12 and 13 and 14-year-old kids. And having written a newspaper column as long as I have, I'm conditioned to writing about 1,000 words. And if I can write 1,000 words on a book, and I do that every day, by the end of the week, that's 5,000 words. By the end of you do the math, and it begins to pile up. So I usually can write a book in 4 or 5 months. With all the technology that I just talked about, and again, you know there's way more than that, there's still no greater magic than page 1, chapter 1 of a book that you want to read.
What do you have there?
Heat, QB1, Summer Ball, and his new one, Fantasy League. I really like sports, and so reading about sports. I like reading and sports, so it just sort of combines them.
I have Travel Team, Summer Ball, Bad Boy Heat, The Big Field, Travel Team, Miracle on 49th Street, $1 Million Throws, True Legend, and Fantasy League.
Do you ever imagine yourself as being one of the main characters on there? Yeah.
The kid from $1 Million Throw, because it would be really cool to get $1 million.
It's awesome because my husband and I are teachers too, so just seeing him sitting and reading and telling him he needs to turn the light off at night because he doesn't want to put the books down, it's fantastic. It's really great, and he still reads in the dark, like by the hallway light, so he loves them.
Anybody can get knocked down. It requires no talent. It requires no heart, no imagination, no spirit. Anybody can be world class and get knocked down. But it's how you get back up that shows the world all of those qualities. Heart, spirit, imagination. And if you start reading one of my books, you know it's not going to be smooth sailing for my main character. They're going to be asked to overcome stuff. And hopefully the way they do by the end of the book will make kids want to stand up and cheer.